octave-wise, like right about here is about as high as I'm gonna go with Flogging Molly. I mean, we just don't, it stays in a certain range. And the only thing that I always trip out on, that I always need, because some accordions, they don't give you that A right here. It just starts there, and I need that A. I play the shit out of this low A right here. But a lot of accordions will break off right here, you know?
At B.
Yeah.
You guys play a lot in A?
Oh, Dave writes most of the music in D, and so you always got, there's always that A there. But
yes.
we do a lot, and because the fiddle player's doing the riff, I'm kind of doing the riff and then doing chords around the riff as I'm doing it. And so a lot of times she's going high and I'm going low. Whatever. I mean, it's the same old thing, but I try to play that, you know, whatever, play an A in 100 different ways just to kind of give the song texture. Flogging Molly right now is on what is it? Almost a 3-month tour, kind of around the U.S. With a quick break in Australia from tip to tip. We have a new record that came out 2 years, but for Flogging Molly, it's a pretty new record because we only come out with a record every 5 years because we're always on tour. But yeah, we've just been playing music for people, touring around the country. It's been good. Our usual schedule for Flogging Molly is anywhere from maybe 6 to 8.5 months out of years, depending on how it all rolls out. So we are definitely a working class band. We do a lot of rock and roll and rough. Got to play Moscow this time, which was pretty exciting. And I've never been picked up by the airport and having a full security team in my life. We had like 3 armed security guys in leather jackets with guns and stun guns and all kinds of stuff. I've never had that be the case, but made me feel pretty important for a while, and it was fun, man. We got to drink. I mean, I drank some crazy ass home brew from Russia. Got to see the Red Square, and we almost got attacked like 3 or 4 times. But we had a security team, so they would just open up their jackets and show the heat, and then the guys would roll away. And then I just learned to shut my mouth and not let anybody know that I was American for a while. But I mean, for the most part, it was pure genius, and the Russian people really liked Flogging Molly, and it was a really good time. And we also spent some time in Brazil, and we went all over the place, and that was fun too. I mean, short of our bass player Nathan got his backpack, passport, computer, and wallet ripped off within the first 10 seconds of being there. We were warned about it too, and we just got to the hotel, and one guy made like a scene, the other guy came by and took his backpack, and it was like, it was just crazy. But besides that, it was a good time, man. It was a good time. I think our music attracts people because even though it kind of comes from like an Irish point of view and maybe a younger punk rock point of view, I think that there's enough. I mean, the lyrics I believe are sincere for starters, and the stuff we're singing about is international. Like it's talking about the loss of love, the loss of life. And the subjects are not that my girlfriend broke up with me. The subjects are a little more deeper than that, and the lyrics I believe, are deeper than that. And I think because we have enough guitar and drums and a real like punk rock kind of ethos that we have this energy, but at the same token we have fiddles, accordions, and mandolins and banjos that kind of give it this worldly touch. So I really feel like it makes sense to people if they're anywhere from 3 years old to 80 years old. Even if you don't have an ounce of Irish in you or anything, it has enough of these things that enough ethnic things that are going on there to make people like it or make them feel like they were younger in a different place. So we did really well in Russia and Poland and a lot of places where you just wouldn't think that music would go well at first, but then you think about all the instruments we have in this band, and it's not that far off from sounding like their music of their people. So I think that's why our music transcends. Our recipe, if you will, is it never really strays no matter how hard the song gets, it never strays away from that. And I think with the instrumentation, if you close your eyes, you're like, ooh, that sounds, you know, a lot of riffs. And like I've told you before, like, you know, a lot of the riffs are obviously Irish, but I also mix in my own, a lot of grace notes and a lot of like weird funky stuff that sounds almost Russian sometimes, and a lot of like little Tejano licks and little Mexican spices that go on the Irish music. And when you add all that together, I think it sounds pretty good. I just think the worldliness of the accordion is what immediately attracted me to it. The like I've said, I guess previously, but it's the authenticity of this instrument that really attracts me. This one instrument can take you on like a weird trip around the world like no other instrument can. You can play the banjo and it can sound like maybe Irish music, and it can maybe sound obviously like bluegrass music, but that's where it kind of stops. And I love the banjo. I'm an accordion player with a banjo problem, but the accordion really is an instrument that, to my mind, can just take you to France. It can take you to Mexico. It can take you to Louisiana. It can take you to Germany. It can take you around the world like no other instrument can. And I love that. And as soon as I put my hands on an accordion, this was the instrument for me. I could feel it, and it has like a sweet sadness about it somehow, and it reminds me of people's folk music and sad songs that you would drink and get drunk to in a bar, and that's what attracts me to this instrument. I would say Flaco Jimenez is a huge impact on me, and I listen to those Texas Tornadoes records with a lot of all the time. I just love the way that he does those riffs. You know, I've listened to that a lot and snuck some of those riffs into Flogging Molly Irish music, but. James Flannery from the Pogues is a huge influence upon me. He's a piano accordion player, but my ears were always open. Buzu Chavez was a button accordion player. I got to meet him before he passed away. So like those are like some of the main dudes. Bobby Gardner, a lot of Irish button accordion players that I continue to listen to. Concertina players that I can't even pronounce their last name, so I'm not even going to try, but. I always change my mood and what I'm trying to go after. Sometimes I feel like it's Irish music for like 3 months, and then I'll listen to a lot of Irish button accordion players. Sharon Shannon, probably one of the best, and I listen to a lot of her. It's incredible. And then I'll freak out for like 3 months, and then I'll listen to nothing but like Tejano music.
Or you could do it.
I've heard that. That's like every third song on the. Ooh, there you go. You gonna keep it up? All right. What always happens to me when I hang out with Gilbert, and then I pull out the button accordion again. I've just been busy playing the piano accordion.
And in high school, I was a trumpet player. I was in the band, so you know, but. I wasn't too cool back then, but I was a trumpet player, and then I was a guitar player in a ska band. A lot of those guys that came out of that band became actually in pretty famous bands. Mm-hmm. But I didn't first pick up an accordion with any veracity until I was in my early 20s. It's like 23. Wow. And then as soon as I bought an accordion, I was like, well. I think I got this side figured out. I didn't grow up as a piano player, so it wasn't like, you know, I couldn't read music at the time. So I had a Polish or a rather Italian instructor come to my house. I'm like, hey, dude, I know I'm probably your oldest guy that you got as far as a student, but I'm serious. I want to learn this properly. And so he went to my house like 3 times a week, and I drove everybody around me. It's fucking insane. And he's like, man, you're not joking. And I practiced really hard, and in 6 months, I went to my only and first recital, and everybody was like 10, 9, and I was like 22. My mom was there. I'm like, check it out, Mom. I played like an Italian musette, and it was pretty sweet. But I have never, like, after that, he's like, well, I think you have the personality where you don't need me anymore, dude. You know how to read music now. You know how to like get your fingers to get around the keyboard, so just do it. And then I did, and I kind of just keep that work ethic in my mind at all times. I'm just constantly practicing and trying to become a better musician.
it's probably a whole different thing. I mean, not being a keyboard player, you're not bogged down by all of
the rules.
The rules.
Yeah, and he wasn't a bastard. He wasn't like smacking me in the hand, like no, you know. He wasn't like that. He was like, you're just gonna handle this a different way, and you are absolutely right, because I never thought I had a style. I've always like, my style is that I'm not wasn't a gifted piano player as a kid, and then I moved on to something else. My style was like, I'm just trying to figure it out. And then I met really good piano keyboard players and accordion players. And like, yeah, you got a definitely distinct way of going about it. And I was like, it made me feel pretty good. I got my own style, and that style is I don't know what I'm doing maybe.
Well, when I was
I've been skateboarding my whole life. I started skateboarding in like 1977, and I've always been one. I've looked at the world basically on four wheels for most of my life, and being a skateboarder is what got me into music. I mean, music was such a part of skateboarding, where we would never go skateboard a ditch or go anywhere or skateboard a backyard pool without a jukebox, without listening to the music of the day, which is, in my mind, was like punk rock and Minor Threat and all these bands. That's what really got me into music. We would never skateboard without it. It was always like a big deal to always have like a good tape cassette of your favorite bands together. So I think that's what really got me in love of wanting to be around music, play music, and I've just I've just been a skateboarder my whole life. I got really lucky, and I turned pro before I even graduated high school. I was doing pretty well, and I've been really blessed in that regard. And now my son's 15 and he skateboards. So, and I feel good because I can take my son to a skateboard park and actually hang out, and he's not embarrassed of his kooky old man, because I actually can still skateboard good enough to get it across, that I'm not like dropping him off at the skate park and like going through my briefcase while he's having fun. I'm actually a dad who's like, watch out, son, I'm skating by. So it feels good to be part of that. Keeps me young.